I don't mean to sound like cisgender, like cis normative, but I do feel like having like 3 women together like unlocks a lot of. There's like a lot of untapped chakra that comes from 3, the power of 3.
I mean, this is ultimately just a community of women supporting women by canceling each other.
That's right.
You know? And that's what we love
by holding each other accountable.
Oh, yes, really. By holding each other accountable.
They want us to say canceling, but,
but
that's really an attempt to, that's not what it is, no.
All right. Nancy Pelosi. No, that's a woman that I never want to face consequences.
I mean,
and she doesn't.
Because
what's so great about her.
She doesn't, and that is a slay. That she never faces consequences for her actions. One of them that I loved personally, I thought it was so funny when she called the Green New Deal the Green Dream or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, and just to clarify, like, or whatever is not Julia editorializing. It's actually, she's called it the Green Dream or whatever, end quote. Yeah.
My only problem with that is that I will agree that was an absolute slay for Nancy Pelosi, but, you know, was she...
Who were the victims?
Who were the victims, ultimately?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like, was she...
No,
was she throwing shade to a woman of color? You know, should we be celebrating
women of color, a whole squad? It was squattist,
right?
Yeah, she was squatting,
right, and
on their space,
right,
on stolen land.
But at the same time, it's confusing because she was also throwing shade to Ed Markey, who is a white man,
and he's a white man,
right? He's
a white man, yeah. A cis white man, yeah. Who's transitioned, by the way? He transitioned because he was not always progressive. He was a much more centrist, but he now progressive identifies. And I mean, you know, it's a little late in his career, but like, who am I? We can't hold people. That's a ridiculous thing to say because there's so much pressure to be centrist. And like these days, younger people like will come out as progressive younger and younger. And that's great. It's like really controversial and we need to hold the space for that. But who are we to judge people? Not everyone is as like it was raised by accepting families and things have changed and he's older. So I just want to like welcome him. And
I do, of course, want to hold space for our cis white male ally, Ed Markey.
Right. Politically non-binary.
He's not allowed to define himself as an ally, but we can define him.
But
that's
we
right,
are,
girl.
Yeah.
But yes, ultimately, Nancy Pelosi was throwing shade at him as well. Looking, you know, snatched while doing it, I'm sure. Also, I loved when the numerous times when she said that she is not a fan of Medicare for all and thinks it will never happen.
Yeah, can I just ask a question for everyone who's out there and a fan for Medicare for all? Is that going to end racism?
Wow, that is such a good point. It's not going to, you know what? It's not going to end racism. So like, why bother?
So why?
I mean, if it's not going to, if Medicare for all is not going to end racism, then Medicare for all is actually
tacitly racist.
Yes. Tacitly racist. Wow. I mean, I would almost say overtly racist.
I mean,
somewhere between tacit and overt.
We can't just be giving cis white men medical care.
No.
Right. I mean, that's what, and ultimately when you do things based on class, what you're doing is, you know, whether it's Medicare for all, minimum wage, we all know that, you know, most minimum wage earners are straight white men of significant means. So
that's right.
When we, you know, unless you're like micro targeting, and like micro threading that needle, you're really not going to be, challenging any systemic oppression.
Right.
So,
wow.
Right. Anyway, I'm sorry. I totally disrupted that. Like if I were a straight white male, you would totally want to cancel me for that interruption. But I think that maybe like, I'm really appreciating that you are holding the space for my taking the space as a Jewish woman.
I mean, as a Jewish woman, it's really like, you know, I'm just trying to live, laugh, love, and listen, you know?
You now Jewish identify?
As a Jewish... No,
you were repeating.
Like, I see. Right. Like you as a Jewish woman, I'm trying to live, laugh, love, and listen to you.
Right.
You know.
I see. Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead.
You should get your girl, by the way, Joy Behar, who is not Jewish and engages in cultural appropriation.
Wow.
She's Italian. And yeah, that's really, we're not happy about that.
This is really.
She's in Jew face. She wears Jew face. Yeah.
This is
not okay.
This is really shocking to me. I had no idea. I'm not, and honestly, this is my problem, that I haven't been really keeping up with the discourse of The View. Right. And I had no idea that Joy Behar was not a chosen woman. And that is really problematic for both her and for me. And that shows what I need to work on.
Right. That you weren't attuned to that.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and say that my favorite Nancy Pelosi girl boss moment was when Pelosi said to Donald Trump that the wall is like a manhood thing for him, as if manhood could ever be associated with him. Because, when I think of the way that undocumented people are treated in this country, I immediately go to like toxic masculinity. That is the problem.
Yes. And that's why she's the queen of shade, because she just looks at a really complex issue, and instead of making a complex analysis, she just does
I feel like the only person that I...
Yeah, totally. Which actually, literally, every time you do that, part of the wall is eroded.
Right. I mean,
and 5 undocumented people come in.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Just saying. Right. Well, sorry. I have my own, but keep going. Because I'm just like, I feel really invited, called in to share my own Pelosi moment, but I don't want to.
That's all I want for you. Please tell us.
Well, I really... Yeah, maybe we can cut some of these in, by the way, the audio, because that would be just like so good to like bear witness
let's do it.
To what she said. Let's do it. So,
yes.
Yeah.
I listen to it every morning when I rise and grind.
Also, it's like trigger warning. We are going to hear, it's like one queen references another queen. And also, of course, we haven't even unpacked the monarchist implications of that terminology.
Right.
Okay.
But, we'll do that. There's only so much we can do in one show.
10 states, as I said, on Friday, started their early voting the day that we lost Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
But to be clear, you're not taking any arrows out of your quiver. You're not ruling anything out.
Good morning. Sunday morning. We have a responsibility. We take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States.
It's an amazing moment because what she's doing is she's literally interrupting and disrupting the male voice, not just the male gaze, but the male voice. And Good Morning Sunday Morning, a lot of people thought that was kind of like incoherent, but what that really was is a really deeply feminist, kind of Virginia Woolfian use of language, a rejection of the patriarchal linear narrative, a kind of postmodern, free association, nonlinear disruption. Good Morning Sunday Morning. She's like challenging just the very chronological, logical, normative narrative that we hear usually, like just good morning. But Good Morning Sunday Morning it's a tribute to Virginia Woolf and Emily Dickinson.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And near rhyme and flat rhyme.
Oh, beautiful. That's so wonderful. Yeah. I mean, my only problem with Nancy Pelosi is that she's not the literal president. If she was the president, oh my God, I mean, everything would be so amazing. We would be, there would be no problems anymore.
There would be, first of all, I mean... goes without saying, there would be no racism. There would be no sexism.
Sexism, right. Italians would feel free.
Italians would finally feel free.
First time.
Yeah, we would be eating our spaghetti.
Right, like without feeling.
Yeah.
Without feeling persecuted.
Because you guys do that, but you just feel in threat. You feel unsafe when you do that. But now,
the only person that I love more than Nancy Pelosi is... It's today we have to celebrate a very, very special person because do you guys know what this anniversary is that we're celebrating?
I don't want to. I would rather give you the space to tell us that.
Okay. Today is the 3-year and 2-month anniversary of the greatest comedy special of all time, Nanette.
Oh my God.
Oh wait, 1 second before we, I just want to, like, if we could hold the space for like literally 1 minute, I just want to also give Nancy Pelosi, like, Slay Queen cred for when she clapped. I don't know, like, probably the most disruptive feminist. It was like the closest thing that we've seen to direct action that any elected Speaker of the House has ever done.
When she did her weird little clap.
You say weird little clap because I think that some of the misogyny that's rampant in our society has rubbed off on you.
That's true.
I would say that clap of liberation and defiance, that was basically the 21st century equivalent of chaining yourself to a fence to protest segregation.